It's noon here in Ventnor City, New Jersey, and I'm guessing 10 a.m. where you are, Ryan,
Yes, sir.
Colorado. And this is CarEdge Live for Wednesday, May 21st, I do believe, with your hosts, me, Ray. Yeah, I'm still here. Zach still ain't. But there is this a possibility that he's supposed to catch a flight back to the United States on Friday. So he'll be back on the show Monday. And Ryan Daly, who is the head of our concierge department and dealer relations. Ryan, how are you today?
Doing great, sir. How are you doing today?
I am well. Thank you for being here. And I was told right before we went on the air that I have to announce that, well, CarEdge is having a Memorial Day promo where you can get 20% off on insights, our negotiation, whatever the hell we call it, and our concierge services. So concierge services, which are normally $9.99, 20% off. I think that would make them $7.99.
Yes, sir.
Negotiation is normally $3.99.
Yes, sir.
20% off. That would make it like, I don't know, $3.19, $3.29, so whatever the hell it is. And inside, well, anyway, it's 20% off. And if you need an extended service contract, a vehicle service contract, they're $200 off. Thank God we have the banner running below so we can make sense of whatever the hell I just said. Ryan, I do believe today that we are going to review phone calls that you and Brian on your team have recorded with dealers when you're working to get our concierge customers their vehicles, and that you and I we're going to listen to, pause, try and figure out what the dealers are going to say, try and figure out what we should say, and review those calls. Are you in on this?
Of course. Yeah, it sounds like a lot of fun.
Well, we're about to find out. I believe, and Justice can correct me if I'm wrong, he's off screen, ladies and gentlemen, producing this fine show. I believe the first call is a call that Ryan made. Am I correct? And I'm guessing we should probably, I don't know, start it.
My man, it's Ryan. How are you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great, Ryan. How are you doing today?
Oh, if I was any better, there'd be two of me, my friend.
Well, very glad to hear from you again. My name is here to help. How can I help?
Yeah, I'm looking at stock number NLR 256418 Alpha. It is an RC 350 F Sport Coupe, 2023 certified.
Perfect. Yes, that is one of our certified vehicles. It's been through a 161-point inspection, and it does come with a 2-year unlimited mileage warranty from Lexus. Great choice. Great choice. So we're looking at the RC 350 F Sport Coupe. Is that correct?
Correct. Yep, I've got a buyer for it. It's obviously not for me. I would look like a McDonald's toy in that thing. But somebody else really wants it. I see you have it listed online for $46,975.
Yes.
What can we do about that? I hate that number.
Well, I can help you out. We have come accustomed to the one price system. So we are a one price store when it comes to used cars. Whether you're a good negotiator or a bad negotiator, we try to have the best price in a 300-mile radius.
Could we
but since you guys are with CarEdge and
whether he stole my line, damn it, whether I coined that, whether you're a good negotiator or a bad negotiator, back when I was at Mini of Baltimore County, when we did one price on pre-owned cars. My God, I'm pretty sure, well, maybe I wasn't the one who coined it, but I certainly feel as if I coined that phrase. Have you ever heard that before, Ryan?
Oh, yeah, tons of times. And I would like to give a shout out to this is Armand over at Nally Lexus of Roswell. They're one of our dealer partners.
Okay.
They work really well with us. They're huge fans of the show. Armand is a consummate professional. We've done a lot of deals with him. And you'll notice the difference as we go along between working with some of our in-network dealers and working with non-in-network dealers.
So the good news is that I just took from that is that we have calls from both in-network and out-of-network dealers, and there is a decided difference between the two.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Well, I guess we should get back to Armand stealing my lines that I used 10, 12 years ago. Oh my goodness. Well,
I'm sure it sounded better when you said it, Ray.
Probably not.
Yeah, going down for a graduation party. What are you doing this weekend, brother?
Nothing much. I'm going to be hanging out with the kiddos. I have a 3-year-old and a 2-year-old. So I might need to get them some new clothes because they're always growing out of their clothes. So might be doing a little bit of shopping for the kiddos, but nothing too crazy. I have a question for you.
Sure.
What zip code are we planning to title this vehicle in? All right, let's see what that tax rate updates to. Okay, so that tax rate is an 8.4. Is that correct?
That is correct.
All right, perfect. Just refresh my screen here. And can I have a first name for the guest?
Yes, it's
All right, and last initial for the guest? Last name initial?
his last name is so it's
All right, perfect. Let's make Mr. a happy camper.
let's make it a deal. Come on, dude. How many cars have you sold today? How many cars have you sold today?
I have sold 3 cars today.
Hey, a hat trick. Good job, bro.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
I know you get spiffs for hat tricks, so let's make it one more.
Absolutely. So I got everything plugged in here. I have Mr. in here looking at the 23 RC. So typically, if you weren't calling from CarEdge, his out the door tax title fees included would be $52,569.39. We don't do any add-ons here at the store. So you just have you'd have your asking price. You also have your taxes and then your fees. And your fees pretty much make up, you have your dealer service charge of $8.99. I always like to give a transparent breakdown of the fees. And you have your Allstate fees as well. And then you also have specific ownership taxes in that state as well. So what I'm going to do for you is, since you guys are from CarEdge, I'm going to discount the fees entirely from the price of the vehicle. The fees for this vehicle break down to $15.71.89. So let me look at everything right now.
And you said you're getting rid of all of those, right?
I'm going to waive those for you completely.
You're the man.
And I'm going to take it out of the selling price. So you have your asking price of $46,975. Need my glasses, it's getting too late in the day. And then you also have your taxes, which is 8.4, which your taxes are $4,000 as well, $4,021. You have your fees of $1,571, and your balance would be $52. Excuse me, that's a call coming in. And your balance would be $52,569. I'm going to waive those for you, so let's go ahead and discount this vehicle. Typically, we would not do this since we are a one-price store, but
I know, but you're the man. I get it. Anything for today, so that's why I called you later in the day, brother.
Ryan, let me ask you a question if I can.
Yes, sir.
Typically, we're a one-price store and we don't discount our pre-owned cars. How often do you and the concierges hear that?
Way more often than we'd like to hear it. That's for sure. Typically with used cars, the online price is typically their best price. They're using that as advertising. And so their dealers are typically putting their absolute best price online. We found, though, that there's always, I have this saying, there's always a nickel, right? There's always another $500 somewhere. A dealer's not going to lose a deal over $500. So we grind them. But most of the time on used cars, there's not nearly as much wiggle room from the price as there is in new cars.
Just for background, so our audience understands who you are and what you've done. You've owned a number of dealerships, correct?
I GM'd a number of dealerships, yes, sir.
Okay, and so you've been in the same position that Armand's in. In the sense that as the GM, you set the tone for the stores that you work in. Now, you said something to me that resonates, and that is that most dealers are not going to lose a car deal over $500. So I would extrapolate from that you think on any advertised price that there should be at least $500 worth of room to be able to negotiate.
Oh yeah. I mean, these things, it's how many days has the car been on the lot? Is it about to celebrate a birthday? Are we, is it hit flooring? Or is this thing costing us money? Have we had to write it down? I mean, there's a lot of things to factor into that scenario.
Would you do me a favor? You just said something that most of our audience wouldn't even understand. Sure. And that is, have we had to write it down? Please explain to the audience what that means.
Yeah. So on any car lot, now it's even more often, but it used to be every week, every month, the books will change on a car. And as the book goes down, then the owner, you still own the car for the same price that you always have. And we call it water. So if I own a car for $20,000 and it books for $19,000, that's $1,000 worth of water that's on my lot. And so typically what dealers would do, and what I did, is I had a hard write down policy, which means we would pull the book at the end of every month and we would write every car down to the book value.
So you would, on a monthly basis, adjust the on the books value of a vehicle to represent what really the current market condition was.
Yes, sir.
So that as a dealership, you wouldn't want to say to a customer, well, we own it for X, so therefore we have to sell it for Y, when, well, it's not the customer's fault that X that you own it for is, well, what you paid for it 90 days ago, which isn't reflective of what it's worth today. That's not the customer's problem.
No, not at all.
That's a dealership problem. And smart dealerships look at their inventory and make adjustments.
Yep.
So that they can put it on their books for the right amount of money. Doesn't mean that they're not losing money when they sell the car after that adjustment. But okay.
Well, and salespeople know what we own cars for too, and they'll sell around. They'll sell around cars that we don't own well. So it's a matter of just keeping. I always said, keep an asset. Don't make it a liability. That's why you write cars down.
Thank you for explaining that, because there are a lot of people that will be tuning into this show that have, I mean, we use terms that you and I understand and that many of our team members would understand, but they are so far from what the general public would understand. So I appreciate you explaining that. Justice, I guess we should start playing that call again. I just wanted to make those points before we got too much further into it.
I knew you were going to hat trick, and then you'd be generous.
Absolutely. It's always nice to hear you guys. So hear from you guys. So I'm more than happy to jump to that opportunity. So let's see what this discount brings it down to. All right. Originally, we were at 52 out the door, 52 and some change. Now we are at $50,866.43. Would you like for me to email that worksheet over to you?
Yeah, please do, buddy.
Awesome. I'm going to send that over to your email on file so you have it. Please give Mr. my warm regards. If he has any questions, comments, or concerns, I'm always here to help. But I just got that deal worked out for you. Let me know what he thinks, and we can get that RC in his driveway.
What kind of deposit do you need to hold it and then get the paperwork started?
Absolutely. So we do have an online portal called ClickLane, so he can do his online paperwork there with me, and I can send you a link to give to him, or I can send it to him directly. The deposit we take here is only $500, and it is absolutely refundable. Just in case he changes his mind or finds a different car, that's absolutely fine. But we just take a $500 deposit. We send that through a secure link. And he can complete that there with his credit card or Apple Pay, whatever people use these days. Once that deposit is in, we are going to tag that car sold and park it on the second floor.
Perfect. And then I know there's been a couple times where we've arranged shipping on the customer's behalf. Sometimes you guys do. Let me get some shipping quotes for him as well, and then I'll call you back. And if you can beat those shipping quotes, then we'll ship with you. If not, we'll ship with our carriers, and we'll get this over.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Let me know what he thinks, and we'd be happy to help. Let us know about the shipping as well. If we can find something competitive for him, we definitely will go on our way to do so. You
are the man. Once again, you've come through and saved the day, dude. This is a hard car to find.
Yes, it is.
I'm so happy that you're in our network of dealers, my friend.
Absolutely. I'm always here to help. Anyone needs a Lexus or any used car, please give us a call, and we will make it happen.
You will be our first call, my friend. I promise you that. You have a great weekend. Get the kids some new clothes, and I'll talk to you next week probably.
Absolutely, sir. You have a blessed day.
You as well.
So, Ryan, I'm guessing you'd like all the calls to go this well?
Yeah, and about 10% of them do. Okay.
So the other 90% are like pulling teeth?
It is, yeah. A lot of times when you get a hold of these dealerships, Ray, you start out with a salesperson, especially an out-of-network dealership. Mm-hmm. Armand's a manager over there, but you typically start out with a salesperson that doesn't get – they don't have the ability to discount. So we've got to kind of work our way up sometimes. Lots of back and forths. I bet we average somewhere between 12 and 15 phone calls. I know that Jerry, another member of our concierge team, he probably averages about 20 phone calls per deal. A, getting a hold of the right person, and B, getting the right deal. So
if you wish this was 90% of the phone calls, not 10%.
Exactly. We go through a pretty rigorous process in vetting our in-network dealers. We talk to the general manager. It's about their culture. It's about how transparent they are, how open and honest they are. We've got over 500 nationwide now in-network dealers that we vetted rigorously, like I said.
So just to review, what Armand did on that deal is all the fees that he listed were still going to show on the line items, but he reduced the selling price by the amount of those fees, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, just so people understand.
Yeah.
They're always going to show those fees in the line items on a buyer's order, but they can adjust the selling price by the amount of those fees if they would like to, I don't know, make a deal.
Yeah. That's exactly what Armand did there.
Okay, I thought that's what it was, but I just wanted to make that clear to the audience out there. Justice, should we play the next phone call?
And that was a 2022 RC F, Justice, so that you know. I saw you ask that question.
Now, welcome to as the #1 customer rated dealer in the country, DealerRater.com's Dealer of the Year 8 years in a row, and with over 15,000 customer reviews online, you can rest assured that gets it when it comes to taking care of you before, during, and after the sale. We now offer 2 locations to better serve you.
Thank you for calling. This speaking. How may I assist you today?
How are you, sir?
I'm good. And yourself?
Good. Are you the guy that can sell me a brand new Mazda CX-50?
I can assist you with that.
All right. Let's make it happen, my friend. I'm looking at stock number SN357165.
Thank you. Give me one moment here. Let me make sure it's still available. And that's the preferred. I see one of our sales managers has the key, so I'll need to find the status of that vehicle. All right, let me see here. All right, if you can please hold for me. Let me get the status of that vehicle. Max, who I'm speaking with today?
My name is Ryan.
Ryan. And your last name?
Daily, D-A-I-L-Y.
Thank you. All right, please hold and let me find the status of that vehicle.
No problem. Thank you.
Regardless of where you choose to shop, our sales team is here to provide unbeatable service, Monday through Saturday, from 9.
How many salespeople don't ask for your name or your phone number or any contact information? It's really amazing to me. I would have lost my mind as a GM if I would
have. It seems like such a natural thing to do.
It does.
To say, oh, and by the way, who am I speaking with? What would you like me to call you? At least get a first name. My guess is that most dealerships today have caller ID on the salespeople's phones, so they can automatically get your phone number without asking you for it. It's probably displayed on their phone. But at the very least, they should ask, well, who am I speaking with? So kudos to that guy for at least doing that.
Yeah, he did a good job.
Yes.
To 8, and Sunday, 11 to 5. Thanks for holding. We sincerely appreciate your call. Our state-of-the-art service facilities offer all of the latest, and visit the service and parts tab to schedule your appointment. While here,
I'm waiting to hear back about that vehicle. Did you want me to give you a call back once I have the status?
Sure, that would be fine.
All right. And I have your number as...
That is correct, sir.
All right, I'll give you a call back, Ryan.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
So that wasn't the longer call then. I did talk to another dealership about a hybrid CX-50 as well.
Did he ever call you back?
He did. Yep,
okay.
He did.
And was that vehicle available?
It was not. Nope.
Okay.
That one was sold. That was a non-hybrid. Our customer decided to go with a hybrid CX-50, and I made another call to a different dealership about that hybrid CX-50, and our customer picked it up Monday. So
okay, very good. So I'm guessing that we're about to hear that other call.
Calling number 1 Mazda dealer. If you are calling for service, press 1. For parts, press 2. And for sales, press 3.
Thank you for calling the sales department. Your call may be recorded for quality assurance.
Can I ask one quick question?
Sure.
I think for calling this is how may I assist you?
Did we inform the dealers when we called them that we were recording them?
This was not a two-party state.
Okay, just curious.
Yep.
Because we can inform them that we're recording them for quality assurance and training purposes as well.
Absolutely. I just made sure we weren't calling two-party states.
I hear you. Thank you for that.
Hi, my name is Ryan Daly, and I'm looking for this new Mazda CX-50. Are you the one that can help me with that?
Okay, was there a specific trim level you were looking at?
I got a stock number.
All right, and what is the stock number?
It is M250989.
Okay, hold on one second. Okay, so I am showing that this white hybrid preferred is still here and available. We are open until 9 o'clock tonight. Were you wanting to stop in today or over the weekend?
Potentially. I want to see what we can get the price to before I do that, though.
Okay. Were you planning on trading in a vehicle?
I'm not. Nope. I'm gonna pay cash for this.
All right. And what was your last name? I know you said your first name was Ryan.
Yeah, it's Daily, Daily.
Okay. And then what is the best phone number to reach you at?
You can call my cell.
Okay, perfect. And then Ryan, I just need a good email address for you.
Sure. It's
Okay, perfect. All right. Hold on one moment. And let me see what I can do for you, okay?
perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Could we pause for 1 second? She did a good job of getting a lot of information from you.
She did a great job. I think she's I believe she's a receptionist.
Whoa.
Yeah, she did an amazing job.
So okay, I'm going to guess. This is just a guess. I'm going to guess at that dealership, if they have the receptionist getting all that information, it's because they can't train their salespeople to do it.
That's probably, salespeople are hunters. They're not farmers, Ray. So.
Oh my goodness, they must have thought to themselves, we've got 2 receptionists, one during the day, one at night. It'd be so much easier just to train them to be able to ask the questions and get the information than to try and train 10 salespeople. That I wish I would have thought of that in all the years I was doing it.
Me too.
If we can continue the call, Justice, I'd appreciate it.
Typically, we take in a 2018 or whatever test.
Hello? Hello?
Yeah.
Hey, Ryan, right?
Yes.
Hey, Ryan, my name's I'm actually answering on behalf. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing good. So I hear you may had a couple questions that you wanted answered on the CX50 hybrid.
Yeah, I see that you have an online price of $34,942. How much wiggle room do you have there, my friend?
If I'm being 100% completely honest and transparent with you, we definitely have a lot more when you're actually here in person. That's usually stuff. It's kind of a little bit more tough to go over the phone. But I would say probably a little bit more than you're thinking. Let me go ahead and go Mazda CX-50 hybrid. Is there an exact trim that you were looking at?
I can give you the preferred that I'm looking at.
That would be great.
Yeah, it's M250989.
989. Okay, cool. So that's going to be the white one.
Can we pause for
preferred?
1
Awesome.
How often do you hear, or do the concierges hear? Well, it would be, if I'm going to be 100% honest and transparent with you, why would I want you to be anything other than that? We can discuss that while you're here. How often do the concierges hear that?
All the darn time. And it's surprising. You own the vehicle somehow better if we're there than if we're not. I mean, it's the most ridiculous. To me, it's one of the most ridiculous things to you're just insulting somebody's intelligence at that point. I mean,
when you were running dealerships, would you train your salespeople to do that?
Unfortunately, yes, because I didn't know better in the beginning, but we stopped doing that very, very quickly. After post-COVID, people like to do their deals over the phone and online and things like that, and you have to adjust. You have to adjust to the times. It was always get the customer in the door, get the customer in the door. We really changed after COVID. So, well,
some dealerships really changed after COVID.
This is an example of a dealership that has not.
If I can say that, simply because, I mean, he's telling you point blank, you want our best deal, you got to have your ass in the store. You have to be here so that, well, if I can't get you to say yes, my manager can come out and talk to you. And if he can't get you to say yes, his boss will come out and talk to you. And we're going to pressure you until you do say yes. I mean, because that's realistically what he's saying.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly.
It would be so much easier to just let me get that information for you and let me put my best foot forward.
Yeah. Yeah, let me earn your business so that you want to come in the store.
Exactly. Justice, if we can continue, I'm sorry I get off on these tangents.
So yeah, I would say roughly after like out the door and whatnot, it would probably come, we can get you to the number that's actually listed online. So over here, I don't know, have you ever had any experience with or a dealership in general?
No, I have not.
Okay, all right, absolutely. So what's really nice is over here, we're 130 years in business. Mr. opened up his first stores in 1895, and the first automobile wasn't even made until 1905. So he was actually selling like bicycles and buggies for horses until 10 years later, the first automobile. Yeah, it was really cool. So 10 years later in 1905, the first automobile was made, and that's when he opened up his first dealerships. And we've been around ever since. So 130 years in business. He's got a very high valuable reputation to keep up, of course, and company to keep afloat. So because of that, we do not do any of those addendum fees. We actually like to call them advantage packages, because most dealerships just take advantage in the sense where they'll add like an extra $3,000 fee on top of it for no reason. We don't do that over here. All we ask is our $11.99 dealer fee. That's the only fee that we actually charge, and that's basically just going to be from shipping from whichever country it came from. What we like to call bringing the car to life, taking it on a shipping mode, adding all of the fuses and whatnot that it may need over here. And then obviously we do a full detail inside and out before you leave, which is included in that $11.99 price. So basically what I'm getting to is after tax, title, and then dealer fee, we can probably get you to around exactly that number listed online, if that's kind of what you're looking for.
Yeah. So is that $1,200 your doc fees? What is that?
Yes, that's exactly what it is. It's just our doc fee.
Okay, perfect. Well, here's what I'm thinking, my friend, because I'm going, I'm shopping a few different dealers. I really want this car. Can you give me a basic idea of what the sales price would be, and I can figure out the taxes and the $1,200. So.
Yeah, absolutely. What I will say, full transparency right out the gate, we are the #1 Mazda dealership in the whole state, if not kind of on the uptrend to the whole entire country right now. I will say if you are shopping at other Mazda.
Anytime, it just seems to me, anytime a salesperson says, if I can be completely honest with you, that means he's not, and he's not going to be. And everything I've said up to this point, you can absolutely disregard, because, well, why would I have been honest with you up until this point? It is such BS.
It is.
And I, for $1,199, I'd really be curious as to what fuses and fluids they might have to put in their bring to life cars. Because they've come all the way from a different country. Oh my God! How does he even have the nerve to be able to say the crap that he's saying with a quasi straight face?
I have no idea, and I asked him in this call too. Doesn't the manufacturer pay you to PDI the vehicle? Like, why are you charging me to PDI the vehicle to put it on your lot? I mean, it's ridiculous.
Ryan, you know it, and Justice, you know it, and the audience. I rail on dealerships all the time, and salespeople get mad at me because I rail on dealerships all the time. So we're listening to a salesperson who thinks he is dealing somewhat transparently with his customer, when all he is doing is obfuscating everything. And I might say that the owner, who started by selling bicycles and horse buggies 130 years ago, is rolling in his grave listening to this crap from this salesperson.
It gets better, Ray.
Oh my God. Well, if it gets better, I need to hear more. I guess I need to hear more, Justice.
dealerships, and they're definitely not going to be able to get to the price point that we're at on it right now. That's just me being 100% transparent. That's why I say if you were to be able to come in person in the location, my manager would get really, really, really aggressive with that price point, like very aggressive. We'll definitely be able to discount it.
Let's see how aggressive you'll get with me on the phone, brother.
I'm sorry, what was that?
I said, let's see how aggressive you'll get with me on the phone. I'm a serious buyer, my friend. I've wanted one of these CX-50s for a couple of years now, and I'm ready to pull the trigger. So
I like that. Very cool, Ryan. Very cool. So here, realistically, what I will do, let me just do some basic math and on a piece of paper real quick. All right. Unless you want to give me, if you want to give me around 5 minutes, I can actually get a real quote printed out for you. But if you want me to just kind of keep it on the shorter terms, I can write it out on a piece of paper. Which one would you prefer?
Yeah, just keep it on the shorter terms. I'm about to jump into a meeting here in about 10 minutes. So.
Okay. All right. For sure. So here, let me do this for you real quick. $34,942 is the online sales price for it. So what we are going to do is, let me go ahead and pull out my calculator. 34,942 times 7.5%, which is obviously sales tax. So plus 34,942 brings it to 37,562, and then plus 1199.95, and then of course registration. Are you going to be transferring a plate, or are you going to be getting a new plate?
New plate.
New plate. All right. So we'll factor that in as well. And then say we do a $4,500 discount on the car, because that's where my manager would probably take it. He would probably give you around $4,500 off. That's just me speaking from experience, obviously, of what I've dealt with in the past and in the present, of course.
Sure.
So realistically, after all fees, one fee and then tax, title, registration, of course, I would say we could probably get you down to around $34,500, and that's after everything, of course. So now that's factoring in tax, that's factoring in your new plate for registration, your privacy tag fee, and then obviously our dock fee, which is just a one-time small fee of $11.99. I think we could probably get you really, really close to $34,500 flat, if not maybe $35,700 or $34,750.
Okay. Question about that dock.
And that would be out. I'm sorry. Go ahead one more time.
Yeah, I had just a quick question about that dock fee. I know that you said that's getting the vehicle ready for lot and everything. Isn't Mazda paying you guys to do that already?
I'm sorry. What was that? Do we do that already?
No, I'm saying, doesn't Mazda already pay you guys to get the vehicle ready for lot?
No, so no, actually, okay. So you actually know what PDI is. That's why I use the term "bringing it to life," because everybody, if I ever use the term PDI, they go, "Well, what the hell is that?"
Yeah, that's why I use that. I was in the business for a little bit.
Very cool. Okay, very cool. No, so unfortunately, they don't. Every other dealership is going to have a little bit different of a dock fee, I guess you can say. We just call it our dealership fee. So every dealership is going to have a little bit different of one. Even if this is what I mean by when I say we're definitely going to be the most competitive over here, only because even if their dock fee at a different Mazda is cheaper, they're going to end up making that money back somehow, some way. They'll throw in a $3,000 addendum fee in there for tint, upgraded wheels, a tint banner on the windshield, and none of that is worth $3,000. You can probably get all of that for under $1,000 aftermarket price. So realistically, yeah, I guess in shorter terms, that's, I don't know why, but that's just what ours is. I don't know really the breakdown or explanation to why it's $1199.95. What I do know, though, is a lot of other dealerships, if they don't charge addendum fees or advantage packages, they'll usually end up doing around a $2,500 or a $3,000 dock fee. Ours is just that small price of $1199.95. Of course, that's only a one-time fee, and then after that, you're good to go. So I don't know. You're right. I don't know if that exactly comes from Mazda or if it comes from itself. but I'm almost positive that comes from the actual Mazda USA brand themselves.
But you mean your dock fee does?
Yeah, correct. So it's from the dealership. So the dealership, in that aspect, it would be from Mazda, not from but from Mazda.
Okay, so that $1199.95 that goes back to Mazda.
I'm almost positive it does. Here, you know what? I never like to give people wrong answers, so let me just 100% confirm that real quick.
Sure.
But I'm almost positive that's how that works. Here, 1 second.
Pause this for a minute, if you can. Not only are his eyes brown, but everything. I mean, I have encountered BS in my lifetime, but this poor young lad is such a compulsive bullshitter that even he's starting to buy what he's selling. How did you have? I have to ask you a serious question, Ryan.
Yes, sir.
How did you sit there and let him keep doing that?
I have a mute button, so I would mute, laugh, and then get back to it. But I mean, to even suggest that the manufacturer dictates your dock fee and that is going back to the manufacturer in some way, I've never heard that before. It was the first time for me. I think that gentleman needs quite a bit more training.
Well, he needs to be acquainted with the truth. He needs to have a much closer relationship with the truth than what he has at the moment. It is were you able to eventually strike a deal with that dealership?
Yes, we were.
Oh my God! With him, or did you have to talk to someone above him?
I went from him to the sales manager, then to the general sales manager, and we finally agreed on a number.
Can just because I can't listen to any more of that nice young man. Can you share with us, or do you remember what the agreed upon price was?
Yeah, we got a $5,200 discount. In addition to that, we got $5,200, and then they agreed to take off the discount as well, the $1199.95 dock fee. So we walked out smelling like roses.
And how much time would you say you had to invest in trying to make that happen? I'm sure. Let me rephrase it. How many phone calls ultimately do you think that took?
It took six calls back and forth after this one. I was driving down to Arizona for a graduation party. That's a 5-hour drive, and I was on the phone most of the time with the dealership working the deal. So,
oh my goodness gracious, and we wonder why people hate having to try and buy a car.
Yeah, and you know, this guy goes. He has to ask his manager, "Does the dock fee go to Mazda?" Manager's like, "What the hell are you talking about?" And this is how I got in touch with the manager to get in touch with the general sales manager. So, a lot of hoops to jump through just to spend some money. A lot of hoops to jump through.
It just seems to me, and you know, you've spent years in the business, but it just seems to me that when people are trying to spend as much money as they are in order to buy a car, that those who are selling them would want to make that process as easy, transparent, and pain-free as possible, so that customers would actually look forward to doing it again.
Yeah. And, you know, especially because this gentleman, I think in that conversation probably said he wanted to be upfront and transparent at least half a dozen times.
Yeah, meaning that he was never going to be upfront and transparent. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, because if you have to continually proclaim yourself as being upfront, honest, and transparent, what you're really saying is I'm none of those things, nor will I ever be any of those things. If you just approach it that you're going to be that way without having to proclaim it, that would cut through all the crap, and a customer would be able to pick up on that like instantly, I would think.
Yeah, and I think this does a really good job of kind of drawing that bright line between the first call with Armand,
yes,
and an in-network dealer, and then this call, which was my very next call, or second to next call. The other vehicle was sold, so I mean it's ridiculous.
I don't know how to say this in a way that, thankfully, my son's in Japan. I don't know how we can pay the concierges enough to do what they do, honestly. But you didn't hear that from me, okay?
They do pretty well, but our concierge, they're all of them have years and years and years in the business, tons of experience. They know how to cut through this DS. I probably would have shut this guy down a whole lot quicker. But I was getting a kick out of it. I couldn't wait to hear what he had to say next.
Well, yeah, because he was incredibly creative with what he had to say, and how he would describe things in different terms. I didn't want to call it a PDI because nobody would understand what that is. I don't know. They might if you said the P stands for pre, and the D stands for delivery, and the I stands for inspection. And the manufacturer expects us to do what is known as a pre-delivery inspection to make sure everything about the car is working the way it's intended to work, as opposed to it's our bring it to life package. We're not in the maternity ward here. Our bring it to life package. Okay, I'm off my rant there for a while. Do we have another call, Justice?
I think Brian's got a couple. Brian is great. He's one of our he's one of our best concierge. He's amazing.
Okay, let's listen to a Brian.
Business office, can I help you?
Hi, my name is Brian Hodges. I'm friends with Mr.
Yes.
I'm just reaching out to kind of get some clarification on, what is going on with his deal. I'm trying to help him out. He's super busy, and he gave me permission to call and speak on his behalf. I just wanted to hopefully get a little bit better understanding of what we're running into and see what I can do to help.
Sure, no problem. And is next to you, because I need the consent, before I disclose all his information. So basically, he's trying to apply for the car loan, and I don't have anything on his, car. He's looking at 4.84, and that's where everything is boiled down to right now.
4.84%.
Yeah, that's what he's looking for. I don't have anything 4.84. The best I can do him is 5.89. And that's where we are. He was going to check with the bank and then let me know. And I said, again, take the 5.89. That's what I have now. And then refinance after 90 days. I just don't care. If you want to refinance, you can refinance. There's options.
Right. Why? So do y'all not accept outside lenders?
Right now, no, not in that car.
Okay. I've never heard of that.
Yeah, okay. It's the EV, electric vehicle, and that's our policy, our company's policy.
Okay. I told him, really, if there's no way around this, because he's trying to simplify things, like we can.
And so do we, and so are we, But again, the only person that makes anything complicated is ourselves, right? And I told him, okay, he's financing 20,000. I know he doesn't have time. Nobody has time, But again, these are something that we need to be addressed. That we have to do. Again, he has an options once you lock the rate because he's getting all that discount and everything. And this is, EV car. So he can finance and then pay off in 90 days, no problem. Or transfer the loan. There's no any transfer or anything. Hopefully rate will come down. And you and I both know, Brian, right now mortgage rate is 7%. So this 5.89 is already a favor for him,
Not if he's already got approved for 4.84.
Okay, but did you see the deal that he's getting?
I mean, I did, but that, a lot of it is tax incentives. So it's not like,
yeah, but yeah, okay.
So it's not like the dealership is losing their shirt on this. So ultimately, I'm trying to advocate. I understand you. I used to work in the auto industry, in a dealership. So, that's why he's asked me to kind of help out with this. But I don't want y'all to go broke by any means. But also, like if we're not going to accept his external financing at this rate, or if we're not going to match his rate, then we'll just go somewhere else.
But Brian, you just, you told, certain car deals, you work in a car dealership, you already know this, certain deals you have the incentive that we give. I can't even give him a $500 off in an EV, okay? But 4.84, I don't have that, so that's what we are right now. Let me talk to, again, this is now. Are you around, Brian? Are you in the area? Are you local or?
No, I'm actually in.
You're in. Okay, so you already know. Right now everything is, tough. And Mr. Is trying to buy a car, but again, asked him to fill the credit application. He has not, and I don't even know what his credit score is.
So I mean. You haven't run financing. You haven't run his credit yet.
No, he has not filled. The credit application yet. I think unless he did it now. Let me hold on, Mr. Brian. Let me go and see if he has even done that. Because what if he is now 650 and we are just wasting all of our time? I'm just saying, maybe he's 900, 800, but now we are only wasting everybody's time and getting into this, rate. We don't really sell rate. Okay. Hold on.
Can we pause for a second?
Yeah, he hasn't even done the first.
I'm assuming this was just the customer had found the vehicle and signed up for our negotiation service.
It's a concierge call, but the customer did find the vehicle. Yeah. And it's quite obvious that this guy's just trying to hold points on the customer.
Sure.
And Brian does a great job with his patience. Brian's a pretty patient guy, and I mean it's just ridiculous.
Wow. Did let me ask you a question. Was Brian able to eventually get the dealership to match the rate or to accept the outside financing?
I don't believe he did. No.
Okay. Did the customer end up buying the vehicle at that dealership, or did we find it for him somewhere else?
Found it for him somewhere else.
Was somewhere else that where the dealership was willing to accept the outside financing or match the 4.84% rate?
Yep.
Amazing how that works. He could have just taken that 5.89 rate, which is considerably low, a mortgage rate today.
Yeah.
Oh, and refinanced it in 90 days so the dealership wouldn't have gotten a charge back.
I probably would have taken it and refinanced it before 45 days, Ray, and let them deal with the chargebacks. So
the audience understands. After 90 days, the full amount doesn't get charged back to the dealership if the customer pays off the existing loan. So the dealership was just trying to make some extra back end money. It is so frustrating listening to salespeople like this attack the sensibilities of their customers. It is almost as if a customer should be able to sit there, and every time the salesperson says something that where the salesperson's full of crap, that there's a buzzer that goes off and goes, that was BS. That's BS.
We should invent that. We've got a heck of a product team.
Oh my God. Yeah. Can we, Justice, can we get the product team to work on something like that? Do we have a BS meter that we could offer to people out there who use CarEdge? I mean, it's just the crap that these salespeople say that they expect the customers to fall for, and I guess that there's a large enough percentage of the customers that do fall for it, or just grow weary of having to deal with this. It's unbelievable to me.
Yeah, it's the drag them down clothes, really. I mean, that you just wear them down, you wear them down, you wear them down. You're using words that are just industry lingo that nobody understands. And for him to sit there, Ray, and say, we haven't even pulled this guy's credit. If he's a 627, we're both wasting our time.
Yeah.
What else are you doing? You're there to sell cars. It's never a waste of time. Do your job.
Well, the sad reality is, they want to do the job on their terms, and they never want to. I'll share a story with you. I remember when I was working at Acura North Scottsdale. And when I started, we were 68th in McDowell, and it was just called Acura Scottsdale, or Scottsdale Acura. And I was a new car sales manager. And I remember one Saturday morning at our sales meeting, I said to the staff, I know that there are certain steps that we think are the steps to the sale. And there's a certain order that those steps should go in. And I'm here to tell you that they aren't necessarily the order in which we think they are. If after the greeting, the customer says, well, while we're looking at my new car, I'd like to get my trade-in appraised, we should do that. The look on my general manager's face when I said that was like, I'm going to kill you, Ray. We can't do that. Well, we can, and we should. The process shouldn't be defined by the way we in the dealership want to define it. It should be defined by the way the customer wants it defined. And listening to these calls, it is painfully obvious that it is still being defined by the way the dealership wants it defined. And it's like, to hell with what the customer would want. And it's so sad.
And everybody has their 10 steps to the sale, 12 steps to the sale. All of my stores, I told them there's really two things that we have to factor in here. The humans are motivated by only one of two things: fear of loss or hope for gain, right? That's what we're doing here. That's what we're doing. Is it a hard to find car? Is it a specialty car? Is it something that you can't find just anywhere else? Is there only 8 of them? Is it a hybrid max? I mean, what is it? That's the fear of loss mechanism. The hope for gain is, I need a new car. I mean, why do we have to go through this whole rigmarole, running back and forth, stupid policies like we don't accept outside financing? Money is money. Do you want to sell the thing or do you not want to sell the thing?
I'm pretty sure when you go into your local CVS or Rite Aid or Walgreens, they don't mandate that you have to pay in cash. They have a product for sale. They don't care how it gets paid for. They just want it to be paid for when you leave. And a car should be no different. There shouldn't be, well, you have to finance it through us. Well, no, I don't. You advertised it for sale. You're open to sell it. Don't tell me I can't pay cash for it.
Yeah, instead of being a professional problem solver, you're being a problem creator.
Yeah. I believe, Justice, we have one more phone call. Am I correct? Yes, I got a thumbs up, ladies and gentlemen. You could not see the thumbs up, but I could. Should we delve into that one?
Yes, sir. Mr. Brian.
Yes, sir. So I just spoke with, I just wanted to confirm a couple things. There's no early payoff penalty, right? Like if he waits 90 days, he can pay.
Yeah, 90 days. No, it's actually illegal, Mr. Brian. If somebody tells you that it's illegal, no, there's no pre-penalty, none of that.
Okay. And he doesn't want anything else added. Like he just wants the sale price, the $21,975. Doesn't want any like extended warranties or service plans or anything like that.
Okay.
So he said as long as we can agree on those things, then he'll go ahead and fill out his credit app and send that over.
Okay, Brian, no problem. We agreed. That's a deal, because I'm very direct and you are very direct. So so we're all set. Tell him to go online, fill the application. We're all set. And I'll give him at 5.89. He's not buying any warranties, any tire and rim, any gap, and that's fine. So we're all set. But I need him to go to online. See, Mr. Brian, he hasn't even gone online, and I have no problem honoring our commitment, but I need to see his credit. Without it, what if all of a sudden he doesn't even know there's something going on and his credit is 500 now? All our talk is irrelevant,
Oh, yeah. I mean, we just talked about that. He's, he said that his credit is A tier, but
okay.
I get what you're saying too. I know that people can say that all along.
No, you're trying to be a middle person, and you said you sold the car before, so I get it. I totally get it. You're looking after your friend, and again, we are not bad guys either. That's all I'm saying. We're all good people here. Okay?
For sure. Yeah. Well, I appreciate your time. I appreciate you talking everything over with me, and I'll go ahead and get him to fill out that credit app. And do you want him to?
Brian, do you know you're the man? Brian, do you know you're the man? You're the man.
I do try.
Okay. All right. Tell him to fill that, and we're all set. And then and I'll have reached out to him, and I'll figure out the logistic of when he can come, and we'll wrap the rest.
Perfect. Question: will you get notified automatically once he completes that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, I'll keep checking. In 15 minutes, I can go and check in, and I'm sure it's 800, and there should be no problem because I also have to call. And you said buy rate, remember? So I said I have to give him a buy rate. I have to call them, and and it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? I'm happy to move the unit. It is what it is, and it'll work out for all of us.
Beautiful. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Have a good day. Bye.
You too. Bye.
Wow. Ryan?
Yes, sir.
Kudos to you and your team. I don't know how you do this on a daily basis. I am reminded as to why I retired from the retail automotive. And thank you for reminding me. That was brutal.
It's kind of fun sometimes, though. It's amazing what you hear. A lot of the truth is often stranger than fiction, and we get to hear it on a pretty regular basis. So,
let me ask you one silly question. How much quicker for both the customer and for the concierges who are helping our customers are the deals with the dealers within our dealer network?
10 times smoother.
Wow.
We have contacts there that are decision makers at each one of those dealerships. They're sales managers, GSMs, GMs. In some cases, they're dealer principals even. And they are the decision maker. We talk to one person. It's one phone call. It's one phone call back and forth. But some of these guys, like I said, some of these guys are having to make 20 phone calls per deal just to find somebody that we believe is going to be honest and upfront with us, and like they like to tout, be transparent.
It is kudos to you for growing the network. I remember when you started, I think, what was it, around 100 dealers were part of our network at that time, and today it's in excess of 500.
Yeah, we had 16 dealers in the network. I grew it myself to right at 200 dealers, and then Trisha Moore has slid into that position, and she has just knocked it out of the park.
Well, good for the team. Good for you. Kudos to the staff that does this on a daily basis, that puts up with the aggravation and the frustration that is associated with purchasing an automobile today. And I think I would love to be able to play these phone calls for dealer principals out there.
Yeah.
And ask them one question. Is this the way you really want your customers to have to interact with your store? And if the dealer principal is honest with himself or herself, I believe their answer would be no. I don't think it should be this hard for a customer to have to buy a car.
No, it's absolutely, it's so counterproductive to what both parties are trying to accomplish. It's a transactional relationship. It should be as simple as, Ray has a very nice shirt. I would like to purchase a shirt, Ray. Are you willing to sell it? Perfect. I have that amount of money, and to me, the value of that shirt is that price, and that I'm fine with that. That's really how it should be. Unfortunately, more often than not, that is not how it is at all.
Well, hopefully we can get more dealers to see the light at the end of the tunnel, and want to improve their practices at their dealerships to make it easier for customers to spend their $20, $30, $40, $50, $60, $100 plus $1,000 at their dealership. Hopefully we can get there.
Well, you would think in the era of secret shoppers too, the manufacturers love to do secret shopper. Like, where's that information going? Because when we would get secret shopped, all that information would come to me, and I would critique and coach.
Sure.
I don't know that that's happening. It's just, it can't be. It can't be.
It's crazy. It's just when you look at it, it's crazy. It makes absolutely no sense at all that this is the way automobile sales should be transacted. It just doesn't make any sense. It's not efficient. It's not friendly. It's not pleasant. And you're asking people to make the second largest purchases in their lifetime, and you make it this difficult for them. I don't get it, and I don't get why more dealer principals can't see the light. But I guess that'll be another story for another day. Ryan, I want to thank you for doing this with me. I hope the audience found it as interesting and as unnerving as I did. Justice, I want to thank you for producing. It feels like it should be the end of the week, and yet it's not. It's only hump day. My understanding is I will be back here tomorrow with Mr. Phil. Will be making another appearance with me tomorrow, so I'm looking forward to that. Thank you. Oh, Ellen R., this was so good, very educational. Thank you, Ellen. Thank you for the kind donation.
Thank you, Ellen.
It was it might have been educational, but for me, it was infuriating, and just shows how much more work we have to do at CarEdge to try and get those in positions of making changes, make the necessary changes in the automobile industry. Thank you, Jerry. Thank you all. We'll see you back here tomorrow at noon Eastern and whatever other time zones we'll be in all over the world.
Thanks, Ray.
Thank you.